Michael Jackson and Prince are two of the most iconic musicians of all time. Both artists revolutionized the music industry and left an indelible mark on popular culture. While they were both known for their incredible talent and creativity, they also had a rivalry that lasted for decades. This rivalry was both friendly and competitive, with each artist pushing the other to be better and create new and innovative music. In this video, we will explore the relationship between Michael Jackson and Prince, including their rise to fame, their similarities, and the reasons behind their rivalry. The rivalry between Michael Jackson and Prince began in the early 1980s, as both artists were reaching new levels of fame and success. They were both competing for the same fans and musical audiences, and each wanted to prove that they were the best. They would often play similar venues and would make subtle references to each other in their songs and interviews. One of the most famous moments of their rivalry came in 1983 when Michael Jackson released his album Thriller, which went on to become the best-selling album of all time. Prince was rumored to be envious of Jackson's success, and he released his own album, Purple Rain, the following year. Purple Rain was also a huge success and helped to cement Prince's reputation as his royal badness, one of the greatest musicians of his generation. The two albums were released just a year apart, and both artists were at the peak of their powers, making this a particularly interesting time in their rivalry. Come 1986, and Michael Jackson and Prince were two of the biggest names in music. Jackson had just premiered his groundbreaking 3D film, Captain EO, directed by Francis Ford Coppola and produced by George Lucas. The success of Thriller had made Jackson one of the most sought-after artists in the industry, with everyone wanting to work with him. He was busy recording songs for his new album, Bad, while also conceptualizing short films. Meanwhile, Prince had just released his music film, Under the Cherry Moon, which was directed by Prince himself. Despite not being a box office hit, the film had a considerable artistic impact and produced one of Prince's most successful singles, Kiss. After returning from France, Prince was working on his collection of songs intended for a 3-LP album called Crystal Ball, which was later consolidated into the critically acclaimed Sign of the Times. The duo was both coming off the massive success of Thriller and Purple Rain and had developed enigmatic images thanks to rare public appearances, which only added to their public appeal. Both were aware of each other's albums, tours, awards, and records, and privately had a desire to match and surpass each other's achievements. Prince was driven to reach similar heights as Jackson when he won a record 8 Grammys in 1984. Jackson also took note of Prince's success and was plotting his return as the king of pop. The public was fascinated by their cryptic relationship, with rumors of a rivalry between the two artists circulating in the media. Jackson was seen as the innocent man-child, while Prince was portrayed as the licentious rebel. Jackson was the sophisticated prodigy for Motown, while Prince was the raw, self-taught genius from the streets of Minneapolis. Jackson was the commercial juggernaut, while Prince was the alternative avant-garde challenger. However, despite their differences, the two artists shared many similarities, including their versatility, musical ability, background, competitiveness, and ambition. It's another facet to their rivalry which often gets unnoticed. The pair both grew up in the Midwest and started out as child prodigious stars. Michael famously started his musical career with the popular Motown group the Jackson 5, alongside his brothers Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon. The group was formed in 1965 with Jackson as the lead singer and quickly gained popularity for their energetic performances and catchy pop songs. By the 1970s, Michael had launched his solo career. In contrast, Prince formed his first band, Grand Central, when he was a teenager, before recording his first demo tapes in Minneapolis. It was clear from then that the musicians were limitlessly versatile. They were able to perform across a range of genres, including pop, funk, rock, R&B, and soul. Their versatility allowed them to experiment with different sounds and styles, making them truly unique artists. This facilitated their ability to touch their audiences with heartfelt songwriting and lyricism. Both Jackson and Prince wrote most of their own material, something that can't be said for many artists nowadays, and their songwriting skills helped them create some of the most memorable and iconic hits of their time. Their music was not only catchy and memorable, but it also had a deep message that spoke to the hearts of listeners all around the world. Think They Don't Care About Us and Man in the Mirror by Mike, and Purple Rain and When Doves Cry by Prince. These songs were brought to life on stage with electrifying dance moves and performances. Jackson's moonwalking is widely considered one of the most iconic dance moves in music history, while others marveled at Prince's unrestricting yet rhythmic movement in high heels. At the end of the day, they were a big part of Prince's look, which included flamboyant clothing, hair, and makeup, while Michael had the glittery costumes and curly hair. Neither of them shied away from a bold fashion statement. Their visual style added an extra dimension to their performances and helped them connect with their fans on a deeper level. Despite the competition and their respective ambition to be the best, both artists shared a mutual respect for each other. It's what led to their secret meeting. In the summer of 1986, legendary producer Quincy Jones set up a secret meeting between two of the biggest musical icons of the era, Michael Jackson and Prince. The two had been discussing potential collaboration for months, but now things were getting more serious. Jackson had completed a demo of a song called P, which featured a catchy synth bass hook and explosive chorus. It was previously rumored that the song stood for Pressure, but others settled on the fact that it was intended for Prince. When Prince listened to the track in the control room, he was intrigued but skeptical. He was interested in working with Jackson, but was wary of being controlled by him. Prince's manager, Alan Leeds, recalls that Prince felt Jackson was trying to make himself look better on and off screen. On the other hand, Jackson was a big fan of P.T. Barnum and was always looking for ways to generate buzz and intrigue, such as planting a story in the National Enquirer about sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber earlier that year. Despite the potential benefits of a collaboration, the two artists were too competitive with each other to work together effectively. And what a collab it would have been. Think about the vocals in their joint performances. Guess it wasn't meant to be. According to journalist Quincy Troop, their meeting was a strange summit where both artists were checking each other out, but saying very little. The media was eager to pit the two against each other, but in the end, Prince ultimately declined to work on Jackson's project, feeling that the song's lyrics were not appropriate for him. In a later interview with Chris Rock, Prince explained his decision to pass on the project, stating that the first line of the song was, "Your butt is mine," and he didn't feel comfortable singing that to someone. Considering Prince's lyrical content, this is understandable. The rivalry between Michael Jackson and Prince ended in 2009, when both artists passed away only within a few years of each other. Despite their differences, they both left an indelible mark on popular culture, and their music continues to inspire and influence new generations of musicians. They will always be remembered as two of the greatest musicians of all time, and their rivalry will always be remembered as one of the most interesting and dynamic in the history of popular music. What do you think of the Prince and Michael Jackson feud? Should Prince have jumped on the song? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more celebrity gossip.